Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. No, none taken.
That is right, none taken. I am the Movie Moron, and this is the Movie Moron podcast. As always, is our practical co-host himself, Trevor.
Hey, yo, what it do?
And then the all-time guest, Tristan.
Hello.
Who are both very conveniently on the phone at the start of the podcast. But that's because they don't know when it's starting. I just decide.
Oof. Oof.
This week, we're pushing it back a couple weeks because there wasn't anything major this week. And there was a movie that we missed that just didn't quite break the box office like Avatar, but definitely broke it more than anybody thought it would. Kind of came by storm.
Was it Plane?
Not quite.
Was it a man called Otto?
Nope. I'm told those are both very mid movies. You should never go watch it.
Was it Missing?
No, that is the number one thing on my friends list for Letterboxd. But no, this is Puss in Boots.
Missing is?
Yeah. Just friends. My Letterboxd friends are all like big movie guys.
I see what you're saying.
And so like any new movie automatically hits it.
Yeah, I thought you meant somebody put it on like their best of 2023.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh.
But Puss in Boots is still number 2 on my friends watching right now. So yeah, we're doing Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. The Shrek's response to Logan that we never thought we needed. And when I saw that review, we all thought it was insane. But you know what? Maybe they were right. Who knows? You'll hear all of our thoughts. But yeah, it's huge. It has like 250,000 watches and reviews on Letterboxd, which is by far more than anything close to anything we were thinking about doing this week. Yeah, so we were like, we all watched it. Let's talk about it, long, short, whatever. But yeah, you guys get to hear our thoughts on this movie, and we'll tell you whether or not to go watch it. And at the very end, we'll give you the Oscar nominations came out today, and yeah, we'll say that's why we're a day behind, because I wanted to wait until nominations came out. But yeah, so we'll kind of we won't preview. You can go look at all the nominations yourself. We won't waste your time reading through them. However, we will go through and kind of give our predictions of maybe what we want to win versus what we think will win on a few different of the categories, just some of the more major ones. So let's just go ahead and go straight into journal thoughts on Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. I almost said The Last Jedi. On what were your thoughts going into the movie versus walking out of it? Trevor.
Ooh, sorry, that was a weird time for a belch to come in. Going into so listen, I am not a fan. Puss in Boots makes his first appearance in Shrek 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
goated movie of
was
all time.
Not a big fan of that character.
He just hates all things that are good. So.
Probably. So going into this, I was not super hyped, but like you said, everybody was like, "This movie's amazing." So I was like, "Okay, well, I should probably go see it." So I went and saw it, and I have only seen Shrek and Shrek 2. I have not seen 3 or 4. I haven't seen the first Puss in Boots,
which I think he is in the third one.
Okay.
So there's a little bit more context there.
Yeah.
And of course, if you haven't seen the original Puss in Boots, then you're missing some context there as well. But I will preface.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch the original. The original is a very like side character.
It also came out in 2011.
Yeah. Very side, like out of like nowhere. It didn't like people just love the Puss in Boots like side character. Yeah. So there's like
it's Antonio Banderas.
They were just like, yeah, for real. But I think they were just trying to grab like a kids movie cash grab. I think is what they were doing.
Makes sense.
Because I think it was loved in Shrek kids culture, whatever. And I think they were just trying to make some more money because they made 4 Shreks and only 2 needed to be made. Maybe the third you could justify, but the fourth was bad.
Yeah.
So I think they were just trying to make as much money on the franchise as possible while it was still relevant.
Oh, for sure.
And then out of nowhere, the second one comes. But I just want to give some. You don't have to watch. You don't have to watch the original. I think.
I wasn't lost.
Yeah, to get any.
There's a couple. There's maybe one flashback. There might be 2 of him and the love interest cat, which feels weird to say.
Yeah.
I see that TikTok. It makes me think of that TikTok audio. Does this make me a furry? But yeah. So that was my thoughts going in. And it is good. It is well made and it's good. I think the animation is a little unoriginal. I was kind of shocked that it got nominated for Best Animated Picture, actually. But
her name's Kitty. Thank you very much.
so my bad.
Kitty Southpaw.
And
Or
so, but because
Softball.
I didn't see 3, 4, or the original Puss in Boots, this just felt like more of the same good Shrek to me. So because of that, I kind of felt like this was a little bit more on the like, just more of the same side. But I think had I seen 3 and 4 and the original, or the first one, its predecessor, I probably would have enjoyed this subjectively way more than I did. But no, the cast, the voice acting is good. I like John Mulaney. There's a kind of Attack on Titan sequence in this, which I think is really kind of fun.
Yeah.
And
really cool. It's the first scene.
Yeah, and the fighting in it is there are 2 big ones, and that's one of them. I like that first one, and then there's another fight in this that I really enjoyed. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a really fun time, and I think it's really well put together.
Tristan?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I haven't seen the 3rd or 4th Shrek or the original Puss in Boots either.
What the heck?
We're the set twinsies.
I literally
Y'all-
told you guys that like 5 times.
I know. But you guys are slipping on your Shrek knowledge.
Yeah.
Y'all just sit there and watch Shrek the musical, the worst one out of the 5.
But
and
it's
think that,
so good.
It's not bad.
It's a Broadway wonder.
We love it.
Yeah. Wonder as in we wonder why it was ever made.
Oof.
That's so rude.
Hey man, we like what we like, and we don't like what we don't like.
It's good. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I don't really have any complaints. It was enjoyable. I did take a cat nap.
Oh my god. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
But I don't know. I mean, I probably missed a little bit, but not a lot. I was still on track, so that's good. I had a good old time. I don't think this was anything like, oh my gosh, it's so good, like that. But it was enjoyable.
Tristan, do you know who plays Goldilocks?
Who?
Florence Pugh.
Oh yeah, you used to
told
tell me
Tristan.
that.
I couldn't catch it the whole movie. I'm like, I know that voice. I know it. I just can't get my finger on it.
Yeah.
And the second I left the theater, I was like, I know I have put like 40 different names in my head and I can't figure out who it was.
And Olivia Colman was Mama Bear. Huh, nice.
Yeah. And then I looked it up after and was like, that's why I knew it. Gosh dang it. If I had watched a movie with her more recently, I think I might have caught it. But she has a slight accent in this movie,
You were like,
which kind of threw me off.
Anna de Armas. No, her voice
No.
is too high. Melissa McCarthy. No, her voice is too low.
No, I didn't do
And then you
that.
saw it was Florence Pugh, and you're like, just right.
She was just right for the role. She was great.
Yeah.
Per usual.
Yeah. That's true. Any other thoughts?
I don't really think so.
What did you think
Okay.
of the puppy dog?
Me?
Yeah.
The dog
Oh, it was
cat.
fine.
The dog posing as a
I
cat.
liked him. He was cool.
Yeah. I thought he was gross.
He was
Well,
supposed
he
to be
was
gross.
I know
to
he's
be
supposed to be, but
gross.
I was like, I didn't like looking at him just at all.
I
He's
liked
a
him
little
lot.
scrappy guy.
He's a little scrappy guy, though.
And he just
He's
has
got
the
a-
most pure soul.
Little
Yeah.
sad little backstory.
Most naive person dog you'll ever meet,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is probably most dogs. So I guess it's fitting.
Yeah, I liked him. Yep.
Okay.
Here we
Well-
go. The Shrek master himself,
Mm-hmm.
Easton, the movie Moron Moore.
Yeah. Well, I will say I think this is the best animated movie since Spider-Verse.
That's
don't-
interesting.
Wowza.
I don't think it's on par with Spider-Verse, but my gosh, is it close.
Yeah.
The animation style of this is absolutely superb. They did not just go with the standard 3D animation that you see in Pixar movies or Disney movies or Michelle versus the Machines. Like they didn't do the standard 3D
Mm-hmm.
animation. They did I think they took maybe a piece off of Spider-Verse's
Yeah.
animation style, but they made it their own, and was very 15 frames per second at times for the fighting scenes, which I thought was very cool for the style of one fighting that it was, and just the characters in general, because cats are supposed to be very agile, quick-moving characters or animals. But yeah, the story was I thought extremely deep. Extreme, very surface level when you just are watching. As a kid just watching, you're just like, oh, this is just a cat that's running away. Well, I guess I don't want to get too many into spoilers, but you see it in the trailer of just this thing that's after him. And it's just him trying to run away from it and survive. But there's a lot of, I think, deeper layers to it, which I thought were really good, between the early parts of him deciding to live a different life, and
that beard, he's got a sweet beard.
He did.
It's nice.
We love the cat beard.
Yes.
But sometimes beards get scratchy, and I guess he didn't have any beard oil. So
I fell asleep, and when I woke up, he had facial hair.
But yeah, I was absolutely in love through the whole thing, and I thought there was no way this is a 97 or 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I thought that was just absolutely insane that they would put why the heck was this even made DreamWorks movie that seemed like for sure just we just want to it's a weak market right now, even though they threw it on Christmas.
Yeah.
But so they're not even really going for a weak market. They just had a writer that apparently made a fantastic script, and they're like, you know what? This is gold. We're going for it. And everyone's received it extremely well, both critics and audience.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of memes that were on par with the Minions Rise of Gru, just, stupid fandom meme culture, and Morbius. And so I was a little concerned that it was just kind of people loving it as a joke. But very quickly you learn that that's not the case. And yeah, I absolutely loved it, and very glad that I didn't just take it as a stupid one-off sequel just to make some money. Yeah, they had, I don't remember too much from the original Puss in Boots movie, but I don't think it was anywhere near this. But yeah, that's general thoughts.
Cool.
Yeah.
I loved it through and throughout. And the humor in this I thought was oddly good.
Yeah, it's a little you don't expect to find it funny.
And I was legit not cracking up, but chuckling throughout the movie, not expecting to at all. And I mean, maybe it's just got that Shrek humor, but it seems different than Shrek humor. Shrek humor is a little bit more 3-year-old toot humor kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which, hey, you know what? It's funny whether you're 2 or you're 28 or
but
63,
I think this movie does that too. Like we enjoyed it. We thought it was funny, and then our cousin Janessa, who's 10, she saw it and she loved it. And she thought it was hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. This was perfectly written for both. There are deeper things to this story that are I don't want to say philosophical, but deeper, contemplative thought. But as a kid, you're just going to watch the plain humor and action and plain story of it and get just the fun of it. I mean, especially with the dog cat story. There's some obvious, I don't want to say, not comedic, my brain is farting on me.
I don't know what you're looking for.
Short-circuiting.
Yeah, well, just the person that's giving the comedy, comedic
comedian.
No,
Comic relief.
Yeah, comic relief. The dog was a great comic relief for some of the deeper stuff that was, because you have somebody contemplating death and what that means and running away from it, and what life means if it does come and it does end and all that kind of stuff. And you have a dog that's just doing weird stuff. Yep. So anyways, I'll end it with saying this is not what I expected, and I'm glad it's not what I expected. The animation style and stuff really threw me for a loop because I was expecting something completely different. Because the original Puss in Boots is just standard Shrek, 3D animation, and the style matched the story so well, and yeah, there was a lot of really good story stuff in here. So, any more general thoughts for you guys?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you can do a recommend. However, I know, Trevor, you watched a few of the movies that came out this last weekend. Or is it just The Man Called Otto?
That was the only one from that week. And then
Okay.
Tristan and I both went and saw the Whitney Houston biopic.
Okay. Well, I will just say I, of course, recommend it because I thought it was it's much better than you think it is. I don't care what age group you are. I think you'll find something very fun and good in this movie. So I very highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Tristan, you can recommend this movie and kind of talk about your Whitney Houston thoughts
hatred.
quickly. And then whether or not you recommend that. And then, Trevor, you can say your thoughts on recommend this one, Whitney Houston, and then The Man Called Otto. Just so people have some extra thought. Some of the movies that are out in theaters right now.
Yeah. As far as Puss in Boots goes, I do recommend it. I think it was good and fun, and I think, like you said, Ethan, anybody really, you can get a lot out of it, like contemplative stuff, or you can just enjoy it and relax and have a good old time. So yeah, I recommend it. Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. No, don't, never. Actually, okay, if you want to, it's fine, but I don't recommend it at all. It made me dislike her and her parents and everything. So I'm actually kind of sad that I saw it because.
So that's why you don't recommend watching it, because it might ruin
up.
your thoughts. It might ruin your love for Whitney Houston because.
Yeah. I mean, I never really loved her. And, like, she accomplished a lot of great things, but, like, at what cost? Her life, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
For real, though.
Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, I recommend Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It is, I mean, yeah, kind of like we've said, it's all ages, and it's got something for everybody. I'm in the same boat as Tristan. Typically with biopics, at least the ones I've seen, like biopics that make good movies, typically artists still kind of have the same story. There is a rise to like your stardom. And then there's a fall, which usually involves drugs or alcoholism or something like that. And then there's kind of a rise again or a comeback. So like that sets up a pretty good, like a pretty basic like plot or screenplay or whatever. Whitney Houston's life is not that. And so because of that, and she got involved with drugs pretty early in her life and never really recovered from that. The movie ends on a really kind of strange note, and it does a good job recreating, TV specials and things that she did. But other than that, it's a pretty weak overall. And then with The Man Called Otto, if you feel like crying, it's got like emotional terrorism all over the place.
Gotcha.
And I think, I'm seeing a lot of like the boomer generation, and I don't mean that as like boomers, but like older generation are flocking to see this movie. Like when I was trying to find a ticket to go see it, basically every showing was packed. And when I went, it was all
late shows.
Huh?
Even the late shows?
Not the late shows. So
okay,
much,
I was about to say. I thought the older people go to sleep at 8:30.
Right.
You can't go to that 10:30.
The one I went and saw was like 9:15 maybe or something
Still
like
packed.
that. It wasn't packed, but there were definitely seats were filled, and
it was only old people.
It was mostly older people. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so I think it's just they identify with this version of person that Tom Hanks is portraying.
Sure.
I will say though, at the end of A Man Called Otto deals with some suicide pretty heavily. At the end of the movie in the credits, there is a small little segment that says, if you or anybody are struggling with suicide or depression, here's a helpline, and you shouldn't struggle alone. And so it had a good message with that. There's nothing about that in the Whitney Houston biopic of, if somebody is struggling with drugs or struggling with whatever, call this number. and like I said, that movie just kind of ended on a weird note. But yeah, I would recommend on. It's fine. I hear apparently there was an original, and this is a remake, and it's also based on a book, and so do with that what you will. I thought it was fine. If you want to go see it, great. If not, you're not missing a whole lot. So yeah,
all this talk just make me want to watch A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
This movie has a 4.3 on Letterboxd right now.
Puss in Boots?
oh yeah.
Insane.
Insane in the membrane.
Yeah, seeing a lot of 5 stars from my friends. Okay, yeah, that's it. We're gonna do spoilers and then do Oscar talk. Spoiler probably won't be too long, because it's a kids movie, so it's hard to really dive deep into too much. But we'll still do spoilers and talk about some stuff. If you guys haven't seen it, but we all recommend that you go see this. And if you have kids of any age, this is a good one to just go ahead and buy on VOD. VOD is a
video on demand.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like Vudu,
What the
Apple, Amazon Prime, like what most people just
Okay.
yeah. Because I don't know if it has a physical release yet. Things usually release on digital first.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, DreamWorks comes out with another great one, and I think because their last one was The Bad Guys.
Aw.
And they have a nice little new intro to their movies.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I missed it.
Yeah, you
Oh.
did miss it.
I
It was cute.
I had to get
like
off work.
It has like all the like Shrek and all the
And the bad guys are in
DreamWorks.
it.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
I think Megamind is too, maybe.
Oh, dude,
When he,
Megamind's
he
great.
like goes up the clouds and he's fishing on the moon.
Yeah.
On his way up there, he like sees all.
And they
of
all
the-
wave to him and stuff. It's
Aw.
very
It's so
cute.
cute.
Yeah.
Does it have How to Train Your Dragon stuff?
Yes,
Probably.
I think it does. Yeah.
It's like that's
Any
some
of
of the
their
best
original
DreamWorks.
it's like they goes like 5 or 6 of their original properties.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we'll do spoilers, and we will also do some Oscar talk at the end of the episode. So if you're interested in that, I'll try to put a timestamp in so you kind of know when we start talking about Oscar stuff. Just so if you want to hear thoughts on all the nominations that came out today. Tuesday if you're listening to this later, but they just dropped and we want to talk about them. So we'll take a short little break. We'll be right back for the spoiler part of the review. All right, we are back.
We're back.
After that short little break. And yeah, we're going to talk about all the spoilers. Okay. All the spoilers of this movie. So, I do have to say a caveat. I did technically miss like the first maybe 5 minutes. I walked in as he was in the bar, drinking some whiskey milk. So,
You missed the fight.
Oh yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it was in the trailer.
It's also all over the like a lot of this movie was like actually borderline spoiled for me on TikTok.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I only knew about Death,
Yeah.
but I didn't know he was called Death.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew he
Oh, the wolf
sent
guy.
sent a shiver down Puss in Boots' spine every single time he whistled.
Makes his fur all puffed up
Mhm.
like a cat.
Really?
Yeah, that's what cats do. Like
Yeah.
if they get like
I know, but he is a cat. You said
Like
he
a
gets
cat.
his fur all puffed up like a cat.
well, that's
And
what
I'm
I
like, well,
just
that
wanted
makes
to
sense.
clarify that like
Because
it
he
wasn't
is a
like oh
cat.
he's just puffed up, but it's like he's up because he's a cat and his
Yeah.
fur gets puffy because he's a cat. I know I'm about get off me.
But I had seen the fight on Twitter or on I think TikTok, so like I didn't miss anything.
It's
as
like
far
Did you
as
know that the bell tolls 8 times to signify every time that he's died?
I did not.
And then on the last one
It hits
is
him
when
in
it
the
hits
face?
him. Yeah.
What?
He has 9 lives, so that's
Well,
8
yeah.
deaths.
Yeah.
And the bell, when he's in the fight, you hear the bell toll 8 times, and on the last time is when he gets killed.
I also don't know if that's in the first Puss in Boots, the fact that he has 9 lives, and I think that's so cool
Yeah.
that they
I do too.
Use it.
like. Well, it's just a like instant thing that's like, oh, this is a fairy tale world, and so like, yeah,
He
like,
can have 9 lives.
cats
in real
just
life.
have 9 lives, and Death, I thought was such a like,
Yeah, no,
it-
I thought it was a cool concept.
and Death, yeah, was a cool concept of like him just wasting his lives.
Mhm.
And I think there's maybe a small stretch here and there, but overall was really cool, and especially how well it tied in with Kitty Softpaw and that stuff. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, what?
Soft paw.
That's her name.
Kitty Softpaw. Yeah.
Yeah, Kitty Softpaw, because she has soft paws. Excuse me. How dare you?
That is genius character development, Tristan.
She joked about it in the movie.
I took a nap, Easton.
I don't think during that part. Did you take a nap during the magical forest of dreaded sorrow and all this stuff? Except for the dog. Oh my! You did not. You didn't.
I didn't.
No.
Okay.
You fell asleep. I think
Way early. If you went to sleep and then woke up and he had a beard, that's way early.
Yes. Or did you fall asleep twice?
Maybe twice. Cool.
Because
Great.
I woke up again and the fat guy was on the star with everyone.
Oh, that's late.
Yeah, I know.
Did you watch this movie?
I did. I just missed some stuff.
We'll rewatch it because I love it. I will 100% watch this.
Yeah, I would rewatch it.
And I know I said this is almost on par with Into the Spider-Verse, which I think might be one of the best animated movies of all time. I'm 100% ready for the second one. Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse, which comes out like soon.
Mm-hmm. Part 1 anyway.
Oh yeah. Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
As far as the animation goes, I agree, it is great. But I feel it's a little unoriginal because it looks so much like Spider-Verse.
My thing is it doesn't look like Spider-Verse.
I think it does.
I don't think it looks like Spider-Verse at all. It just looks not normal. And so if anything, they just took like, okay, well, we can use 3D animation and just add a touch different to it to make it look. I mean, that's like saying two comic books that come out like, oh yeah, they like this person stole this style of somebody else when they don't look anything alike. They're just both comic books.
I feel like
because to me they do look like comic book style animation, but just because they're both comic book style, they're automatically the same. Like no, comic book styles have 1,000 different styles for comic books, and every artist has their own like touch on it. And I feel like Puss in Boots has a style, and you can't say that any movie now that decides to use a comic book style animation is just copying.
Well, I feel like you can because
they were the first.
Well, because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of animated movies, and yeah, of course, once something innovative happens that people like, other studios are gonna like copy it without really copying it. And like, I'm not saying that's bad. I think it's great. I just think that during the course of the film, I just kept thinking to myself, I feel like I'm watching Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I never thought I was watching Into the Spider-Verse, and I also don't want to continue to think, oh yeah, anybody that now uses a different style to 3D animation is now just unoriginal, because then you're just taking away like creativeness. And also, does that mean that anybody that used 3D animation after, was it Toy Story was the first 3D animation movie?
No, there was something before that, I'm sure. Maybe I'm wrong.
But now does that mean that anybody that used 3D animation after that is unoriginal? Because
yeah, but I feel like that's not an art style. That is a whole new, like 3D animation would have happened eventually, I would think.
Yeah.
But like with this is, and Spider-Verse made a specific style, and it like that's what helped make it so good. That's part of the reason people love it so much.
Yeah, it's a piece for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't want to deter people from doing something that looks well on screen by saying it's okay. Well, you just did something that's unoriginal. You just copied somebody else.
Yeah.
You should have done something like
I say, like, and I'm not saying this as like, this is so bad because Spider-Verse did it first. I'm just saying, to me, this looks like I'm not accounting the animation. It is great, but it's not like I'm docking it like 2 points. Because I feel like it is very Spider-Verse-y to me.
Yeah. And I mean, it does kind of suck because they definitely could have already been in the works of this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
when Spider-Verse
animation
came out,
takes like 2 years to make.
Yeah, and I think Spider-Verse came out in 2019.
I think you're correct. Pre-2020 anyway.
But pre-production and all of that kind of stuff, movies take Usually anywhere from 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
But I guess you can pump out a movie in 2 years. That is possible.
Well, and I guess what I mean is like I've heard of voice actors that will do animated movies and they go in to record and they're like, so what? Like, can I see it like soon? But they're like, oh no, we still have to animate, and that's going to take 2 years.
Yeah,
you know?
a movie like with pre-production and everything takes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said 3.
Especially
the animation part of it. But I would assume they have in mind what they want to do with the
Probably.
animation before. But maybe they saw Spider-Verse and they're like, hold up.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I felt a hint without it being like a straight carbon copy of it. Because they also didn't do the actual comic book like strip stuff.
Yeah, right.
Which is something that Spider-Verse does do. Like comically the pow and that kind of stuff, the bang, and
I feel like they do that a
the
little bit.
onomatopoeias.
Yeah. I thought they did do those a little bit. Not to the extent of the other one, but he anyway.
Maybe I'm misremembering, but
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Regardless, the animation is great.
Yeah. When it comes to the actual like story and stuff like that, are there certain scenes that kind of gravitate you more than others, and the story arc? And
I really enjoyed his conversation with his past lives, and seeing and when he's on the glass and seeing how each one and it's kind of a gimme, and I think that's more of the kid humor, but they all have like a like he's Irish or not Irish, but he's more like Robin Hood in one of them, and I think he has some kind of accent, but
it's cool that they're like, it feels like actual different lives.
Yeah,
like
and he's like a bodybuilder in another one.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like this Puss in Boots every time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And excuse me. Yeah, and I feel like and I like the eighth live, the one we see at the beginning of the movie. It's like this last one is trying to he's trying to get that back. He's trying to just have a continuation of his eighth life. And that's why they look so similar. And so I like that part in the Cave of Souls or whatever it's called, which is appropriate.
Yeah. I absolutely loved the fact that they stay with the Shrek mindset with the fairy tales.
Yeah.
You have the Three Bears and Goldilocks, which I thought was so cool. All of it. I think there's some great kids material there with the fact of being adopted and like wanting a real family yourself.
Yeah.
But accepting the love and that you're like the family that is accepting of you right now has, and I thought all of that was really cool. And then one of our main villains, the actual real main villain, is John Mulaney as
Jack Horner.
Jack Horner, which is another fairy tale character that I thought was really well done and really
something
cool.
about putting your thumb in a pie.
Yeah.
And he's got a pie factory, and it's very they
well,
do those
and he turns into this capitalistic I should own everything.
Yeah.
I didn't get the attention I needed as a kid. Because I was just a dumb nursery rhyme. So now I need everything because I wasn't enough for you then, or something like that. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It's just a spin. All of them are just kind of spins on fairy tales.
Right.
And I think that whole world that Shrek brought is really cool in the fact that they were able to dive further into it with these different things. I mean, not necessarily Puss in Boots, but the side characters here. I thought.
Well, and
really
there's
cool.
even an Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
With the Eat Me cupcake and drink or whatever it was.
Yeah, and his workshop has a bunch of different things, which were just kind of side off.
Right.
Side off things. The unicorn horns was a good bit.
I forgot about that in his office.
Oh yeah, which he just has 25 different magical fairy tale items. The best being the unicorns, I think. Unicorn.
I don't remember that.
The unicorn horns that he shot out of a crossbow and it would explode the people like confetti.
Yes.
I thought that was really funny. It was a good bit. And just his whole character of legitimately not caring about life at all and just sacrificing all of his minions.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he ultimately loses in the end, is because he doesn't. So it's another thing about selfishness and having this one goal of just obtaining everything is ultimately bad, and you won't obtain everything, and you'll die alone.
Yeah.
So and that's what happens to him.
Crushed by a diamond star.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I just absolutely loved how they just leaned into it. Because I thought all that mainly the Three Bears and the Goldilocks thing was really cool. Because I thought they were going to be like straight up bad guy bounty hunter evil people, and they weren't, and I like that. Because then we would have had 3 bad guys,
Right.
which Death himself isn't really a bad guy.
Yeah, he's kind of Puss in Boots' own like personal antagonist. He's not like he doesn't affect the other 2 really at all until the end. And even then they don't help him a lot.
And it's kind of like it's also kind of like personal judgment.
Right.
Like you're now getting the judgment that you deserve for the lives that you've lived that are selfish, and it shows that throughout the movie how he's lived multiple lives of selfishness, and how he hasn't cared for anybody but himself, and how it's hurt other people in his life. And yeah, it goes full circle. And that's why I think there's a lot of depths to this that should not be in a kids movie. Like the Shrek 1 and 2, like those things don't have real depth. I mean, they have maybe not to be cliche here, but children rhyme levels of depth.
Right.
Like there's a reason of the story and blah blah blah, but like all in all, it's not that
like
deep.
the entire not motto, what is moral of Shrek is like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah,
like that's the whole shtick of the first one.
What about let your freak flag wave?
No.
Let your freak flag fly.
Never bring it down, never bring it down. Raising wings. Sorry.
No, that's someone else deciding to make an adaptation of Shrek without knowing the true director's meaning and making a poor version of it.
Rude.
So speaking of Death, I found that character's voice to be a little hit or miss for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I loved him throughout.
Just because, and part of the reason is because I think it was just personal preference for the most part. The voice was fairly high pitched, and that was
Who are you talking about?
The
wolf.
Death?
Yeah. I was expecting, just with the way his character looked, for it to be a little more menacing. And then I saw a TikTok that showed a comparison of the English versus the Spanish version. Because like when he's in that cave and he the wolf Death steps out from the shadows and he says fear, it's like fear, and it's this real like high, not high pitched like goofy, but it's just him talking. But in the Spanish version, he steps out of the shadows and he goes miedo or something super low and like menacing, and I'm like, that's what I wanted. And so that, like I said, that is personal preference.
Yeah.
I was hoping for something a little more low and menacing.
Sure.
But that might have given it away. That might have, he's a little bit more than what he appears to be.
Maybe. But I also feel, for me, just the character in himself and the whistle was enough to strike the fear.
I didn't care for the whistle.
You didn't care for the whistle?
I thought it was weird. I didn't care for that melody.
Ooh.
And I keep seeing people that are like, oh, it gave me chills when I heard it. And I'm like, it is what it is.
I guess I'm with the majority there, because I felt like after we established who the whistle was and why he was there, every time you heard the whistle, it was like death is approaching.
Yeah.
And I felt like it did that wonderfully. The setup was great, and then the follow through throughout was all there, and I got the chills as he did, because it was like, okay, well, now we're at the point
you
where
also
death
puffed
is
up like a cat when death would arrive.
No, but maybe metaphorically, I guess, internally, because I don't show my emotions as much as others. So
No, you don't.
yeah, so internally, my back hairs were spiking.
There you go.
But no, I absolutely I loved the whistle, and just how like smooth and like how confident and arrogant he was, and because like he was there for a purpose.
Yeah.
Like if he was just this like unkillable force that like just got his target no matter what, whatever, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much.
Mm-hmm.
But because
bounty hunter.
yeah, but because like this was like because it came full circle in the end,
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the character by the end.
Nice.
Because I was if throughout. I was like, yeah, he looks stoic. I like the whistle. I like the scythe
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I like them. Puss in Boots is fighting somebody that like genuinely like scares him.
Yeah.
But like also, what is the purpose of just? You don't want to just create an enemy that is unbeatable.
Right.
And they did that, but then like the way to beat it wasn't to beat him.
Yeah.
It was to just be a better person
Mhm.
and find purpose in life other than just your own legacy and your own. I almost said mythology. It's not quite the word, but your own like,
legend.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, legend is the word I'm looking for because that's what he says all the time. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, and your own self-love and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And how that kind of switches in the end, and yeah,
That's
pretty
my other favorite fight. Is their final fight on the star.
yeah,
I like that a lot.
yeah, yeah, cool because he leans into it. Because at that point he's accepting death.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes him stronger.
Yeah.
But then also it creates the tension of why death is there in the first place.
Mhm.
And yeah, very much like that. And very much liked the conversion of Goldilocks. In that moment.
Yeah.
Because for me that was probably the most emotional, quote unquote, character development and stuff.
Yeah.
Of hearing Goldilocks's reasoning behind her pursuit, and that whole family, and like they're supposed to be an antagonist, but they like aren't.
Yeah.
They just have their own set of goals that are just as justified as Puss in Boots and Kitty Softballs.
Mhm.
I forgot what her wish.
For someone to trust.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and she got that in the end. So they
Yeah.
all got their.
All three of them got their wish.
No, he
Well,
didn't get his wish.
I guess Puss didn't.
No, but that's good. That's
Yeah.
and I think that's one of the lessons that's supposed to be there for kids
Mm-hmm.
or anybody. That life has more meaning because there is an end and a possibility of there being an end compared to you can just do whatever and have no consequences to your actions because you have a fallback of I have more lives.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the 9 lives things and how that progresses and how he changes as a character. Yeah. Any more thoughts, Tristan? You've been real vocal on your.
No thoughts here.
Okay. I absolutely love the beginning scene with the whiskey drinks. I thought that was so clever. It's
The
not
party?
whiskey. It's no.
Oh,
It's
when
not,
when you got there
Oh yeah.
in the bar. Yeah. The
but
cream.
but just the cream thing.
That also another thing I found out after he's on it. He asks for his 9th drink when Death shows up.
That's cool. So they have the theme of 8 and 9
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah.
But I thought that was just so quirky and fun to have a cat be drinking cream and give me your strongest cream.
Your heaviest cream.
Yeah.
I keep
That's
the
in the
heavy stuff
back.
in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. And the cat, he goes to the toilet sewer to escape.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, you have more thoughts?
I did have one more thing, and the ending. There's a musical moment that's really sweet in this when they on the boat and they're going back to far, far away. And he says, we're gonna visit most of our friends. You hear the ba-da-da-dee-dee-dee.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that made my heart happy. That was a cool moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys want to give your ratings for
I do, Easton. I would like to give this a 4 out of 5.
4 to 5?
Mm-hmm.
Higher than I thought you were gonna do.
I was thinking like 375, but probably after I watched it in its entirety, it will go up.
So 375 with a possibility of a 4.
Yes.
I'm giving this a 4.5, and this might peak up to 5
On a rewatch.
or go down on a rewatch. Maybe I'll
Holy
have
moly.
a completely rethought and be like, why the heck did I think this was
I
so great.
highly doubt it, but
I do.
You're gonna rewatch
it's
this. And go. You know what?
possible, I
This is a
suppose.
lot like. No, I'm kidding.
No, there are some stuff, but yeah, I do think this was so much better than I thought it was going to be, even after everyone's saying it was amazing. So that says something. When everyone says something's really good, and you're like, is it really?
it
though?
usually like skews your opinion.
Yeah, you're usually going in
Yeah.
way more critical, and it did not take me long to be like, oh shit,
Yeah,
this is
you're
actually
right.
good. Literally right after the whole, like the first 5 minutes of me being in there with the bar and death and him escaping, and even when he goes to the cat thing, the cat place, like that may have been a little long, but it was a good bit. I thought it was a funny bit.
Yeah.
And
It's a little sad when he gives in too. It's not. It's, puts up a fight, but he has to learn how to be a cat.
And it's another cool lesson of, is living your life just doing what you need to do to survive? Is that a life worth living? Just doing the same mundane thing over and over and over again to just live slightly longer. Is that worth it? Or should you go and do what you're called to do?
Yeah.
So like I said, I feel like there's a lot of layers to this that, like, if you're a kid, you're just going to watch it and be like, huh, that's funny. That's cool. It's cool action. But then I think there's a lot of underlying things that are really cool.
Yeah.
So there's all of our ratings. We all told you to go watch it, so definitely go do that. Now we're not gonna spend too long. We're just gonna go through and talk about the Oscars and talk about just a few of the categories and say what we want to win and what we think will win. And we'll go down the line from Trevor to me on each category. I've got them pulled up. Like I said, we will not read them because we don't want to waste your time. You can go look at it and you can see all the Oscar nominations yourself. And if you have anybody that you feel like have anything or any film that you think is snubbed, you can also add that too. If you're like, I can't believe somebody wasn't nominated for this, or I can't believe this movie was nominated here, you can say that as well.
Cool.
First one is actor in a leading role.
Cool. It might take me a second. I did a big Twitter feed about this earlier, so it might take me a second to pull it up. But best actor, I'm pulling for Colin Farrell, but I think it's probably gonna be Austin Butler or Brandon Fraser. People are on a high with Brandon Fraser right now, and his nostalgic in his story and everything.
Yeah.
Or nostalgia in his story.
Me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen 3 out of 5 of these.
That's okay. We're all going through this as like only seeing what we've seen,
Okay.
and so we can only say what we've seen. And if you've only seen one, I mean, you can just kind of say like, I've only seen these, so this is all I can say. But
I did just say that.
I know I'm saying
Okay.
like that's okay to say.
Well, I think Colin Farrell in the Banshees
Yeah.
was really good, but I love Austin Butler, and I would like for him to win.
Gotcha. I'm with you. I've only seen those 2 movies.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see After Sun and The Whale. I think my view on this may change after I see After Sun. I don't think it'll change after The Whale. I think there's some push with Brendan Fraser because of the history with him, but I don't think that's enough for the Oscars to vote for him.
He won the Emmy for it.
Oh shoot, you're right. Yeah, you are right there. But I feel like Austin Butler's gonna win the Oscar for this one.
Yeah.
I honestly, he deserves it.
The movie may not have been up to par.
I literally just said him.
I know. I said in my opinion, but he is absolutely fantastic in it, so I could definitely see him pulling that away. But I do feel like Colin Farrell's is the better performance, although Austin Butler's was really good.
This is really good.
And I feel like that might change after I see After Sun.
Cool.
Because I've heard nothing but fantastic things about that one. So, actor in a supporting role.
Oh, supporting role. Sorry.
It's okay.
Supporting actor. If Hu Kwan, I don't know how to say his name.
That?
But if he doesn't win, we riot.
I agree.
But Brandon Gleeson is also acceptable.
It's the husband in.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. I like him. I don't like the movie, but
Do you think he should win, or do you think he will win, or both?
I don't know. Who are these people from Banshees?
It's
Um,
the guy who cuts off his fingers.
Well, there's the guy that cuts off
There's
his finger,
two.
and then there's
and
the
the town
the
idiot.
friend, yeah, the idiot,
Oh.
the cop's son. Everyone loves him.
That's an
Everyone loves him.
interesting
Yeah, it's true.
choice. I'm still gonna go with the first guy.
He also won Emmy for best actor, supporting actor.
I know, and he
Which one?
Quan.
I saw a thing about him.
Oh, his speech was
Fantastic.
very tearful. Yeah.
Yes, I sent it to you.
Okay, that's probably what I
Yeah,
watched.
I think he should win, and I do think he wins. But I absolutely think he should win. If he doesn't, I'm with you, Trevor. I do think we ride his. Literally, just his 30-second, maybe
Yeah.
it was like a minute and a half. Just that minute and a half is like the best thing that we got out of all. Everyone is going nuts about Barry's scene with the sister,
Mm-hmm.
and like,
I just think it's relatable.
I guess in soul culture, I guess, but I don't know, man. It was good, but it was not. It wasn't. Yeah. Okay. I won't say anything else. I don't need
Yeah.
any more hate. Actress in a leading role.
If Kate Blanchett doesn't win, we riot. But Michelle Yeoh is also acceptable.
I've only seen Everything Ever All at Once,
Yeah.
so her, I guess.
Yeah. I haven't seen many of these. Well, I've seen 2 of them, but I feel like it should be and will be Kate Blanchett.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I've seen nothing. It's another movie I am very highly excited to watch, and but I know it's very heavy, or I feel like it's very heavy.
It's pretty heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been hard to get myself to watch it because I know I need to be in the right headspace. But
And I also contribute to you not having watched
yeah,
it
that's true because you haven't. We've all been together and you've been like, I don't know if I want to watch a movie about a conductor
yet.
for 2 hours and 45
Okay,
minutes.
but You're So Good is a very different than My So Good, so
That's true. Actress in a supporting role.
I don't know, man. These are all great.
who are these people?
The list is stacked, and I can't decide. I'd be happy if any of them won.
The Black Panther one is the
Queen.
queen that dies.
Okay.
She drowns.
Okay.
Saving. Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis, you know her.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie is the sister from Banshees.
Okay.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. The other one is the daughter.
Okay. I love Jamie Lee Curtis, so I really hope that she wins. But I think the Carrie and Stephanie are very good as well. So
I have a little bit of a hard time with this, but I feel like Stephanie should win. But I feel like Carrie or Angelia Bassett will win. But I feel like Stephanie should. She was my favorite of them, but I very much liked Carrie as well. And there's just so much hype around Angelia Bassett, especially with just the Black Panther stuff in general.
Mhm.
I feel like it can't win nothing.
Mm.
So, yeah, I have a feeling there. Animated feature film.
I'm a little surprised. I have the same thoughts on Sea Beast in comparison to How to Train Your Dragons that I do on Puss in Boots with Spider-Verse. I want Marcel the show to win. Having
Did
not
you
seen
watch
it.
it?
Having not seen it. I
okay,
did.
that's what I
But
thought.
I mean, even with the trailer, the integration between stop motion
Yeah.
animation to real world is
Yeah.
stunning, and I think that's great.
I say Marcel.
So, I tweeted this out today, that Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is absolutely fantastic. It's so close to a 5-star, if not a 5-star, if I'm not so picky with him. But I still think Puss in Boots is just too good when it comes to the fact that it's like a full animation film.
Mm-hmm.
That I feel like that's gonna give it an edge. Whereas Marcel the Shell, it just is. It has an animation to it.
Right.
That's like saying, I mean, if I'm being honest, every single Marvel movie that's come out over the last 20 years is more animation than Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
Mm.
So at what I am glad that it got the nomination because it deserves something. The fact that it doesn't have really anything else is insane.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the movie is fantastic. However, I still think Puss in Boots is just too strong
Okay.
to take it down.
Cool.
We do love ourselves Marcel the Shell. Shoes on. Cinematography.
Oh shoot! I didn't mark. No, I'm pull that up real quick. Actually, Tristan, you can just borrow your phone real quick. Let's see. I've not Elvis.
I've only seen Elvis, so I have to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen Elvis and Tar. I don't know. I don't know if I can give an answer to
Yeah.
that one.
I don't really have anything other, but I don't have a prediction no matter what. But what I do have to say is this is the snub of the century. The fact that the Batman did not get a single nomination here in the cinematography in the Batman was absolutely fucking fantastic.
I
It
didn't
was
think about
yeah.
that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And the fact that you put Elvis in here is insane. I haven't seen All Quiet on the Western Front. I am excited to see it, but I doubt cinematography is the reason why the movie is good. It seems like it's more about the acting performances and the story than it is the cinematography,
Why
but I could be
didn't
wrong.
Did it get anything?
It got 2, and that was it.
Makeup.
And is it just 1?
I think it might just be makeup.
Oh my god.
Batman?
Yeah.
Yes. I tweeted out today it was the biggest snub of
Really?
Oscar history, whatever.
Mhm.
But I can't believe that it didn't get cinematography as well as The Northman. This should have been another thing that this could have got.
Yeah.
I understand The Northman is not for everybody. However, the cinematography was fantastic.
Yeah.
Robert Eggers knows how to shoot a goddamn movie, and nobody fucking watched Empire of Light, and I don't even know what the hell Bardo False Chronicles of a Handful of Truths is. Never even heard of it in my life,
Me either.
and should not have gone Oscar, in my opinion.
Who knows?
Oscar nom.
Not me.
But yeah, this is especially after last year's powerhouse of Dune.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a for sure winner last year.
Yeah.
So, okay. We can skip some of these. Director, if you got. Oh,
Yep. I got director.
this actually says that Daniel Kwan and Daniel.
Yeah.
They're together.
That's what
It's
I
not
was telling
separate.
you before this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you said
Oh wait, they're together.
yes. It's listed together.
They changed that from when I saw this earlier. Then.
So, yeah, that's also what I saw.
Good.
I saw them separate, but yeah, now they're together.
Yeah.
I feel like it wins then.
Okay.
That-
yeah.
Or Banshees might win. This
Yeah.
might be the one Banshees wins.
My tweet specifically says, I don't know how 2 directors got nominated for the same picture separately. I will accept them, though, if they both got it.
Yeah.
I said I will accept the Daniels, Field for Tar, or McDonough for Banshees.
Yeah. I also feel like Todd might be up there when I finally watch it.
Mhm.
But I feel like Kate Blanchett might be the thing that wins for Tar, though.
Yeah.
Because it seems like she's the focus.
Yeah,
So.
agree. Oh, and she makes the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts, Tristan, on this one?
Basically the same thing.
Of
Like
Banshees?
Or my problem is that Everything Everywhere All at Once, I hate the movie and I don't ever want to watch it again in my
Yeah.
life. But it had very good things in it, so I can't be like, I don't want this to win because
Yeah.
it's good.
Because it's just not your style at all.
Yeah.
It's just too much happening
Right.
at one time.
But like, yeah, that's
which is
not
the
a
whole, which is the purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like it shouldn't win.
Yeah.
So
I am also gonna say that the Fableman's got way too many nominations.
I agree.
Way too many. It's good.
It's not great.
We're gonna skip a few here. International feature films. We're not gonna talk about it, but we are gonna say that Decisions to Leave got
Snubbed.
snubbed
Yeah.
for sure. Makeup and hairstyling. The Batman is the only one that got the nomination, and my God, it better win just because it didn't get any other
Yeah.
nominations. Do you guys want to talk about music or switch just to Best Picture and be?
So
I don't care. It's more Trevor's.
yeah, I already have an answer for both. For
Go for it.
original score, it's a pretty dope list, but I hope Babylon wins. And then
Really?
Oh yeah. And then original song, Natu from Triple R, let's go!
If the Batman was in original score, would you have picked that one over?
I don't know. The one's pretty good.
Okay, I still need to watch Babylon,
Yeah.
so I will definitely but I do know that I have specifically listened to the Batman soundtrack on several occasions because it is really fucking good.
Yeah, it is great.
And another snub because
And I'm curious.
the Banshees got a nomination for this.
With the Batman, I'm curious if people heard it and thought this sounds too close to like the Star Wars March. I'm curious if that's part of it.
As somebody that's seen Star Wars over 100
I was about
times,
to say, you're asking the right person.
got zero nods. Like I didn't connect the two at all.
Really?
I never felt like
the big.
I never felt like it was a theft.
The bomb. No, it's not theft, but it's definitely inspired by, and even what's his name?
John?
No.
I don't have my phone because
He's the same guy that did Incredibles. Anyway, he even has said, "This is he said I was listening to the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack like a ton when he wrote the Batman soundtrack, but the Batman theme, that boom, 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 boom thing, that's the exact same key and the exact same opening notes from the Imperial March."
But here's the thing with music, which you probably already knows, but we're to a point now that it's very difficult to come up with something completely original.
Right. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I'm just saying I think that could be a reason that it got snubbed was because people were like, whoa, that's pretty close to the other one, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can count it for originality or whatever, which I think is dumb. I think it should have been nominated, but I think that's probably why it got snubbed.
yeah. I just think your tweet is maybe more accurate. The fact that they don't want to nominate superhero movies.
The one that I saying that there's because the push for Marvel movies to start getting more nominations, the Academy
Why
is
would they get nominations?
I'm saying there's a push.
Yeah, the fans are wanting it.
Because that's the only
they're
thing they watch.
stupid.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, this movie's fantastic. It's the only movie I've watched this year.
Yeah.
So it should be nominated for all the Oscars, even though there are 30 other movies that came out that were 80 times better than what I just watched.
Right. And so the Academy, I think, is trying to reserve itself and be like, no, we don't do. Instead of back in like 2008 when Dark Knight got nominated and for several categories, now they're really trying to not try to staying away from the superhero genre in general.
Which is upsetting because if you make a good superhero movie,
then it should be nominated.
If you make garbage, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
So Marvel, just don't make garbage and you'll get nominated.
Well, and
it's not hard.
Man, even so with that new deconstructing.
Well, it is hard, but.
Yeah, even with that new deconstructing the MCU pod, we've gone through 4. I mean, we've recorded 4, and 2 of those 4, 3 almost of those 4 of the first 4 MCU movies were like, these are like, they're fine, they're not great.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, like you said, people are still only see Marvel, and then that's all they'll want to be nominated because that's all they've seen.
Yeah, and like DC has also come out with a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
But they've also gone out and grabbed fantastic directors and actors and stuff like the Dark Knight trilogy where they got Christopher fucking Nolan to make those movies. And then with this, they got Matt Reeves to make this movie because they wanted to make something great. They didn't want to make a franchise.
Yeah.
They want to make a good movie.
Although I'm sorry, I know we're getting off track a little bit, but it makes me so upset that people are like, we want a Batman universe now. We want a sequel. We want more of spin-offs. And I'm like, shut up. Just let this exist.
It's definitely getting a sequel, which is fine.
That's fine. It's okay.
You don't need spin-offs and a whole...
I'm a little upset with the Penguin spin-off, but it is what it is.
No, I also am not 100% on the Penguin spin-off. But I do think sequel is fine.
Yes.
Because think if you just got Batman Begins and you never got a sequel.
We never got... Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, like if you make something good, it's fine to do sequels and additions to it, but like everything has to be planned. And like you also have to think of it like, I want to make something good. Let's take the time to make something good, not let's make money.
Exactly. Correct.
And that's what I think Christopher Nolan has done and will always do. And what it seems like Matt Reeves did with the first one, and we'll see what he does with the rest.
Yeah.
Best Picture. What do you guys want to win versus what you think will win?
So In order of like what I want to win the top 3, I have Tar, Everything Everywhere, and Banshees.
What do you think will win?
Tar. Oh no, what I think will win is Everything Everywhere. I want Tar to win.
I don't really know. I'm not. I just didn't fall in love with any of these movies.
Really?
Really. Yeah. There's not.
I thought maybe you'd be our Top Gun Maverick.
I mean, I really like it, and I was gonna say that, but like, nothing was. I don't know. I just felt like there were some very weak movies for me.
Yeah.
This year, I really don't want Avatar to win.
It definitely won't.
Good.
Won't.
But I also can't believe it even made this list. I honestly cannot believe it. This
It's because people love it.
This is like putting Endgame on Best Picture or putting Infinity War. It's the same level. This is a blockbuster movie and nothing else. It is completely surface level everything. The only thing it has is quote unquote visual effects that aren't even that stunning and over the top. The story is bland and normal and nothing over the top. I'm sorry, Brandon, you're going to fight me on Twitter, but it's the truth. It's nothing groundbreaking. Everything is completely standard to movie making things, but we're so attached to the characters and this world that it's supposed to be greater, and it's not. It's very, very fucking mid, and I can't believe we got. I honestly cannot believe it got a best picture nom. The only thing it should have got, if anything, was visual effects. Shouldn't even come close to getting best picture.
Yeah.
I would keep on cutting you off on accident.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to say what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah.
I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is gonna win. I'm fine with that. Not that they need my permission for anything, but there's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once. I feel like it should win. I feel like it's either that or Banshees. People are just all over Banshees right now. So
I was a little surprised by, pleasantly surprised by, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just the artsy movie of the category.
Yeah, there was one like that last year too, where it was like, this is the artsy movie that kind of appeals to the general public. What'd you say?
The Power of the Dog?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
But it didn't win.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. No,
we stand by that on this pod.
Mm-hmm. We're all very anti-Power of the Dog. But I feel like it's gotta push because it's something just different.
Yeah.
And people really took to it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's got a shot, but the only thing that makes me not confident in Everything Everywhere All at Once is the fact that it came out in February or March of last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
And so it's just so long. And movies that don't come out in Oscar season,
right,
usually don't win a lot. It's just the way it is.
Goes.
I think that might be a reason why The Northman didn't get much, because that came out the same month that I think Everything did. I think it was back in March or April.
Yeah. And
so as like I wouldn't expect it to win Best Picture or anything like that, but I think it would have been nominated for stuff if it was releasing in November. When some of these other movies that got nominated that have no reason to be nominated are. And that's why people release the movies when they do. Which stinks for Robert Eggers, because he's
good.
I almost said the GOAT, but he's not. He's close though. Dennis Villeneuve is the GOAT, but okay. I guess that's it. I don't think there's too much more we need to talk about here. We can get you guys out of here,
and we'll talk more about Oscars as we.
No, we will. We'll have an Oscar bonus episode as we react to what actually won and all of that. But we want to give you guys just a little preface of
or preface.
Just depends on on what we thought about the Oscar noms. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Next week we are either going to be doing the new Mia Goth movie.
I don't know.
I don't have my phone because it's recording us.
Oh.
There's a new Mia Goth movie, Infinity Pool.
Oh, okay.
Or I think there's another one that is coming out.
Pearl?
No. Infinity
That's
Pool.
the first thing
I said
that
it.
popped up.
Infinity Pool.
Okay.
That comes out this weekend, but there's another one that comes out as well.
80 for Brady.
No, God. There's another one that's really popular.
Knock at the Cabin.
Yes,
comes out on the
yes.
3rd.
M. Night Shyamalan. I was trying to find the director in my head. M. Night Shyamalan's coming out with a movie, Knock at the Cabin, something like that.
Yeah.
And then Infinity Pool. We'll decide which one we want to do as we see what people are watching. But I'm excited for Infinity Pool, not as a Mia Goth fan, but as this looks like a gore fest, and I'm a little interested. I'm usually not, but I'm interested. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will be back next week. Have a good one.
Hey, moron!
You talking to me? You talking to me?
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello?
What an idiot!
Well, what do you expect? I'm the movie moron.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you.
Yeah, well, that's just like, your opinion, man.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.